Welcome to this week's episode of the Lads Film Thing podcast, where four friends discuss a film and generally have a good time. And be warned, there will be spoilers. So, you've got me, Lucy, Abby,
Hi.
Dan,
Hi.
and Sam.
Hello.
This week's film is a joint choice where we watched Saltburn, the recently released Emerald Fennell film about a fucking psychopath in a great big house.
Where did it
do we
even
begin?
start with this film?
Yeah, exactly.
It's set in 2006. Yeah.
But I loved the fact it was set in 2006, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because we immediately did the maths and we were like, that's when we were at uni.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, so much was good about that. There were so many things.
I mean, the first other bit before they even start the film, it's in a different aspect ratio,
Yes.
Yes.
which
Yeah.
was quite weird. It's square rather than widescreen.
And
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
that kind of reminded me of like an old style TV, maybe not 2006 TV, but like a slightly older. It gave that retro feel, didn't it? I think.
Well, also
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the director, she said that she deliberately wanted it to be like that, so that it was like you were peering in.
Oh.
Oh,
So it gave
really?
like a really tense feel, which
Yeah.
obviously the film was so tense, and it did feel like you were sort of spying on stuff that maybe you shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah.
A lot of
okay.
the time you wished you weren't seeing.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
I just quite like the fact that our TV, that era of it got used. Because
Right.
sometimes it's just a black bar.
What, the bit
Yeah.
at the top?
Yeah. I felt like,
Yeah.
oh, for your TV, you're getting like full usage of that bit of the screen.
Yeah, but then it's cutting off the side.
Yeah, but
That bit
it's
was
had its
fun.
day, hasn't it?
So I enjoyed watching their university experience. It was good. It was like I could relate to Oliver. I could relate to Oliver because he just had that one friend, and then essentially had that's you and me.
Yeah, that's us.
However,
Who's the
NFI.
Michael in this?
well, I was going to say he was not very likable. Was he the friend?
Yeah, he was a
No.
real nut job. That bit where he's like, "No, I'm really good at sums. Like, ask me a sum."
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
"Nah, okay, I trust you." He's like, "Yeah." That was so bizarre.
But I did love the bit where he bought him a crunchy. He's like, are you going to eat that crunchy?
Yeah.
Like, yes. He is everyone right now.
Yeah, and partway through, Sam, you showed me that guy is the same guy as from I've forgotten the new Game of Thrones. It's not called that. What was it?
Yeah, House of Dragon.
Yeah. Did you guys
Oh,
know?
really?
Yeah.
He's Aemon Targaryen in House of the Dragon.
Oh.
Eye patch guy himself.
Yeah, and he looks absolutely totally different. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And less crunchies.
That's crunchies, yeah. But we had a moment where we felt sorry for him because, obviously when he goes off in the pub to the other group, but then he wasn't that nice anyway. I was a bit like,
He's like, buy me a drink.
"Ew."
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going for a slash, buy me a pint.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that bit. No,
Yeah.
but you wanted him to look over and be like, "Oh yeah, you're in with the Poplar guys. You do this. I'll meet you later." Instead, he just stood there being like, "Oh, fine then, fuck you." Like, I was a bit like,
Although I appreciate what you're saying there, I don't feel like I would be like, oh, yay for them. I'm being left on my own for the next 3 years of my life. I literally am so chuffed.
"No, but you
Be like,
wouldn't because you could get him
I
in
will hobble
too.
you forever.
If he was cool, if he was good, you could get him in."
So really early, you meet Oliver, who is played by
Billy Corgan.
incorrect. Sam, want to go?
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
Closer, Luce.
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
Keoghan.
Keoghan.
Who's Barry
Yeah.
Keoghan?
Barry
No,
Kingo.
It's
Keoghan.
Keoghan.
But we saw him saying it,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what it was that he said.
He said Barry Kingo.
No, he did not. No.
No, he said Keoghan.
Yeah. So we meet Oliver, who is kind of sold as like a poor but smart kid.
Yeah, he's on a scholarship. But
Yeah.
like he's in with a professor talking about something and he's read the whole reading list. And even the professor's like, even I haven't read half those books.
Oh yeah.
And so there's also that next bit where he's talking about an essay with the professor and there's another guy there and that other person is Farley, which
Yeah.
he's a really main
Well, the
character.
first of the ridiculous names we come across in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're introduced to Felix, and his like rich friends.
But that bit in the pub, I did like when Felix went over and he was like, he didn't have enough money, did he? And he helped him.
Yeah.
And he
liked
did
him.
it in so not like a showy way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't feel bad in front of anyone else. He just did that in
Yeah.
such a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
really
they have
liked
this
him.
friendship that kind of sparks up fairly organically. And I think at this point you're just like, oh, okay. They're just being friends. This is nice.
Is it organically or is it definitely not?
What do you mean?
Well, it's a forced friendship, isn't it?
Well, you
Wait.
only know that at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've seen the film.
No, but like your experience of it from Felix's point of view, it was as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Because I was thinking as well throughout, because they kept giving little like hints to, oh, you're Felix's next plaything type thing. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, Felix is going to be doing something underhand here. He's getting him like into the group to do something terrible to him. You know, like
She's all that situation.
she's all that. I've not seen that film, Sam.
You have.
I haven't.
Surely. Is that a film I mean?
I was going to talk about Monsters Inc. too.
Yeah, it is a bit like
Sure.
Monsters Inc. too.
Yeah, that like initiation.
Yeah, that's the standard film that's referenced.
For what?
Goes out with a girl just as like a dare.
No, I was thinking more of like they were going to do something sinister to him, like in Monsters Inc. Monsters University, when they put Mike and Sully down in the basement of Squishy's house, and his mum's in the background doing the washing. She's like, "Enjoy yourself, boys." They're like doing that initiation.
The other thing that I was thinking though was that it had real Get Out vibes. Because I was thinking
Yeah, we said.
the same
Yeah,
thing. It was like
yeah.
they were doing something that
Yeah.
was bad, and like you say, saying, "Oh, he's this year's plaything or whatever." I was like, right, the last year's plaything is definitely dead or in a basement. But I think quite early you sort of realise that Oliver is becoming pretty obsessed with him, with Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I didn't know whether he was like trying to be with him or trying to be like him and literally just copy like all of his mannerisms and things so that he could be similar to him.
Yeah, because he starts smoking, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like using similar language and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe. Well, he says something like, I can't remember how it's worded, like, I wasn't in love with him, or was I in love with him? Like, there's that right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know who's talking to at that point, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was definitely, I mean, I thought at this point they were going to get it on at some point.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to develop into some sort of like relationship.
Yeah, we all definitely hoped.
And then there's that bit where he says his dad's died.
Oh, yeah.
And then Felix is really good about that. Does that stone thing.
Yeah.
And that's very convincing, actually. So, because I watched it the second time, like, you obviously watch it knowing what you know at the end, but his mum actually does ring him. It's very his mum phones him, and then the next like minute he's like, "Oh, my dad's died," and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's legit." But obviously, she's obviously not phoning to say that. He's just speaking about something else. On the second watch, that's what you think, but on the first watch, it's set up to be entirely plausible. I think he gets the idea because they've kind of had a falling out. That happens.
Yeah, it's a low point, isn't it?
Yeah, that happens after they've been in that room together in like his dorm room, and he's trying to tidy it up. And he's like, "Fuck off, you're not my maid." And then he goes to the pub without him, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, I need to think of a way to get back in Felix good books." And he's like, "Oh, dead dad, that'll work.
That would do it."
And it does.
Which is a shame because you see his parents at the end, and they're the nicest people. Which makes a stag bowl.
Yeah,
I like the way it played out. That it was. I remember the bit where he sat on the floor and he's really crying and like he's obviously so upset. And Felix is just totally great all throughout. And then it obviously ends up saying, "Come Saltburn." And
the only weird thing about that is Felix and his mum as well. They seem to be hooked on just drama. So like asking so much detail about like his parents and what it was like and all that kind of stuff. Like in a way which I think that Tier Society do like to do. But it was just really weird, wasn't it? It's like, oh, how was that? That's been terrible. Was it terrible? Was it terrible? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like utterly,
oh God.
yeah, trying to just get all of that like
Yeah.
sadness and badness out,
Yeah.
but
like in
only
an
from
enjoyable
good-looking
way.
people.
Oh yeah, yeah, she was hilarious for that.
She was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved her.
I
Yeah.
love her generally.
She's a
That
crazy
Rosamund
character.
Pike. She's great, isn't she?
Oh
and,
yeah.
and with Richard E. Grant as well, like the best couple ever. Like,
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
They were perfectly cast, those two.
She was great. And I had a moment where we'd met all the family and they were obviously amazing. And they were just sat in front of the TV just doing really like nice stuff together and just hanging out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really, really love this family, but I know it's going to go badly.
Yeah.
And this is where we said about Get Out, because I was like, this isn't what it seems. These people are terrible. The mum and dad are up to no good.
Yeah.
The sister's bad news. Like,
Yeah.
even that Pamela woman.
Yeah.
I was like, I love all these people, but I just can't let myself love them because
You just had that was my like not problem with the film. It's just normally I watch a film and I choose a protagonist and like you invest in them, but I could not figure out who was nice and who was not nice the whole thing. So it was just so hard to watch, not knowing who you're rooting for. Which made it really good and tense and like enjoyable in another way. But I like to know who my favorite is when I'm watching a film, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's a very weird point when he goes to the house and he goes through to the library and they're all, like you said, sat in front of the TV, because you're like, oh, they're all nice, apart from Farley, who's a dick. But because it feels quite sinister, you're like, well, he can't be the bad guy because he's just outwardly being a dick. Like, he's not going to kill you. It must be one of the others, but I don't. It's just so
even though, yes, they were amazing and they were like, they felt very normal as a family, didn't they? Even though they were like super posh. But she said I have a complete and utter fear of ugliness.
I love that.
Oh yeah,
which is amazing.
But she says it so calmly, doesn't she? She's like, "Oh God, I worried you were going to be ugly. Thank God."
Yeah, you're so good looking. I have a complete and utter fear of ugliness.
She says I have a complete horror around it, or something like that. Horror of ugliness.
But also, they're talking about people from up north, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
And she says they just come out drunk.
Yeah. Do they even have rehab in Liverpool?
Oh my God. Yeah, there's a lot of judginess there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about how they collect the sad and the poor, like you were saying, Sam. That almost, like, I really felt like that was the way that it was going to go.
Yeah. Especially when it's like last year's person, like, oh, what's the token they're collecting?
Yeah,
and they were really trying to get rid of Pamela, weren't they?
I know, it's horrible. Yeah. Which we recently adopted a cat for like a bit of time, and it was the same thing. Like, we were like, yeah, this is a great thing to do, let's do it. As soon as this cat arrived, we were like, how do we get rid of this cat? So like, all things start with the best intentions, but you're immediately like, no, I've done the good bit, I don't want to have to actually like action this now.
I want people to recognise this and then not have to follow through.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was just going to say I loved the bit about dressing for dinner as well.
Oh yeah.
I feel even just one time.
They're so out of touch though in those moments, aren't they? Like, he's like, oh, I gave you a dinner jacket in the cupboard, one of my spare ones, because we dress up for dinner. And he's like, oh, I could have bought one. He's like, no, just go to waste. I've got a spare. Did you bring cufflinks though?
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? No, of course not.
I'm staying for the summer. I'll bring cufflinks. Like, no. And there's a really awkward bit as well when he had breakfast for the first time. And I don't know why, we're like, he asked for his eggs over easy.
Which I loved, obviously.
And he just didn't get it. And I love that, because you were like, they're not over easy. And, like, and obviously it was a point in the story, but yeah, you were like really offended for him.
I was like, actually went to the effort of asking for over easy, getting it right, specifically asking what he wanted, and they just brought out runny eggs. And I was like, I've been there, and it's not okay. You cannot just eat them out of politeness. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You don't like runny eggs. You don't like.
Because if you eat it, then you look even worse for asking for over easy if you're happy to have normal fried egg.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It felt, now I've watched the whole film, that was one of his first like flexes, that he asked for something very specific and then refused to just go along with what they had given him.
Yeah.
I thought he just had tummy troubles, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
Yeah.
thought that at the time.
Yeah, there was definitely a change there of just him like being all polite and just going with the flow to actually,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, this
And
isn't
you
what I
see him a
wanted.
couple of times, don't you, like testing their submissiveness as a family. And that just felt like one of those first times where he was like, no, I'm not going to be the one that gets walked over as part of this.
Yeah, but he's not really testing it of the family. That's Duncan, though, isn't it? He's sending it back. He's doing it in front of the family, but he's
Yeah.
testing Duncan, the butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know.
I really thought he was going to have a bigger role. Like, he was great, but I thought he was going to do something at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see a Saltburn.
We said we wanted Saltburn 2, which was Duncan and Farley coming back and like taking the place back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Return
Yeah.
to the Saltburn.
Sorry. So then he watches him in the bath.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
What's he
Yeah.
doing?
Right, this is the side note where I went to a parenting class. This is so boring. However, at one of the parenting classes,
Somebody was.
no, we had to write down all the words we could think of for, wow,
Keen.
masturbating is like the heading, and then underneath, how many different ways can you say that?
Oh, amazing. That sounds well fun.
That sounds
I mean,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It
Yeah.
was fun, but yeah, I can bring things to the table that I wasn't aware of.
Go on.
Yeah.
You say the
Um,
sentence for the podcast, like Abby was just doing. Oliver,
Oh,
watched
yeah.
Felix in the bath. You say that. Say the whole
Oliver-
thing.
Oliver watches Felix in the bath spanking a monkey.
Do like 10 in a row and we'll choose which one
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the best
that's what
one.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I literally
say.
can't think of any more though. Come
Well,
on,
this
you must
feels
know
like
some.
an untrue story then.
I know, but that's the
said
one that
you
just
can
stuck
bring
in my
loads.
mind.
You can Urban Dictionary it and then you have like 20 to
Yeah.
choose from.
Oliver watches Felix in the bath raising the flagpole.
Making the bald man cry.
Oh,
Oh,
I've never heard
God. Shooting the confetti cannon.
That's
No,
not us.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
rubbing
No.
your penis until you orgasm.
I think that's more just descriptive.
Oh yeah, that's. I heard
Yeah,
kids
but
say that on the street.
that works. That works in the in that Oliver was watching Felix in the bath.
Rather
Yeah.
his penis until he came to orgasm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably more clear than if somebody hasn't heard of these terms. They're like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
Now I-
And then
and then, is there a euphemism for this?
slurps the
Probably
plug
is.
hole.
Oh,
But literally,
Literally, yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
a
that
gross
was-
one.
that-
Not a euphemism.
Because we
just-
all thought the film was going to take the other turn and actually him like slapping the plug hole. But he actually
Yeah.
just ended up slapping the plug hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Good lord.
Yeah, but what would you rather watch?
Well,
I know which
probably-
I'd rather watch.
I thought this bit obviously it was so uncomfortable and just squeamish and everything. But one of my first thoughts, he actually filmed this, and
Yeah.
obviously, like they used probably on the set, I guess, a clean bathtub. Blah blah blah.
I did think that, yeah.
There's something so uncomfortable about just sticking your tongue in a bath plug hole, like even
Oh,
just to
God,
film
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And like the
Like,
other
that's got to be not
stuff.
even just a new bathtub is like good enough like to want to do
No.
that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has to-
It's
yeah.
just such a weird thing to do, and he actually did that.
Yeah.
I don't think, to be fair, somebody actually did spunk in the bathtub though.
No.
No.
So-
Yeah, but,
even
like,
I don't know.
yeah, like if you've got a used bathtub, and that's a shared bathtub because he said
Yeah.
like we've
Yeah.
got a share.
Yeah.
Like spunk is not the worst thing that's in that plug hole.
No. By far.
Yeah, exactly. There is years worth of like pubic hair,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
body.
Even just standard head hair that is
Yeah,
it goes disgusting, doesn't it?
exactly.
It's all like
Exactly.
matted and
And like
And that's an old house as well.
exactly,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
in the grand scheme of life, everyone's had a bit of spunk in their mouth. No one's had a bit of plug hole hair in their mouth. Okay, no one wants that. No one's going there.
Oh God.
indeed.
Jeez Louise.
Yep.
Do you reckon for that shot they must have had like a cut and half bathtub to like, because otherwise you're not going to get a camera there to record that,
yeah,
surely.
I thought that, yeah.
That's so like,
yeah.
Although, have you seen on TikTok that guy who does all the like chocolate making stuff, like the real life Wonka? If he was to make a bathtub, sign me up. Yeah.
Oh, I stick my tongue right in that thing.
Yeah. Then would have to be like an extended cut. Right, here we go.
Where I ate.
Yeah, if it was a plug hole made of chocolate, fine.
Oh,
like a brand new one.
Very specific.
A brand new one. You know, somebody's already had a go.
Oh, I'd eat that chocolate plug hole.
God.
Does not sound good.
No. So there were two thoughts that came into my head in this bit. One is my dad had said that he had watched this film.
No.
Oh no.
3 days before.
Yeah.
My God.
So when I saw this bit, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. What are the chances there must have been a power cut at your dad's house when that bit was on?
Yeah, I know.
In this film, 5 power cuts.
Yeah. He turned his TV back on. It skipped forward 5 minutes when he went to play back. That was the first. And then the second was that people kept saying there was like certain words. Something disgusting happens in a bathtub. And
I told you there was a bathtub scene like that we're going to see, yeah.
And the word grave. People kept saying those things, but I don't know what happened. But something around a bathtub and something around a grave. And I was like, this is disgusting. I hope it's the thing.
I did that. I was like, please don't be like, the warm up to an actual one. And then he leaves that room to another bathtub. Oh no. But then in terms of Felix and Oliver's like relationship, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Well, it is until he's dead.
No, but like that, they don't get any more like relationship wise. He just licks his plug hole, and that's as intense as it gets.
Yep.
But then it moves from that scene to him with the sister,
Benicia.
Yeah.
But except there is the mum's amazing, funniest joke in the entire thing, where she says, I was a lesbian for a few months, but it was wet for me in the end. And it was just the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, and then there's the bit where he goes outside at night and Venetia's outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, discuss.
Ding.
Agreed.
It's it's a weird scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
The vampire scene, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know really what to say about it.
I don't know what to say about it either.
The one thing to say about it is he starts off by talking to her, because you're right, in that scene before, the mum had said, oh, she's anorexic, or I think what she says is she likes fingers for pudding, which means she puts fingers down her throat and baths up.
Yeah.
And he starts that whole...
I really thought it was going to be like Cadbury's fingers. I'd be like, who doesn't?
Yeah, I know.
No, we all do.
These people got it right. But no, and then so he starts by going over to her at night and is like, oh, tomorrow you're going to eat your dinner and you're going to stay at the table.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh God, like, what's he doing? Like, why is he doing that? And she's not telling him to fuck off or something. She's just like, oh, okay.
But again, he is testing his dominance, isn't he, over the entirety of this family all the time.
Yeah. And then
it... none of us can actually talk about
Shall we presume the listeners have watched this film and know the bit that we're talking about? Or does someone actually want to say what happens?
Can any of us say any of the words?
So I will say the words. I will say 2 words, as long as there are no follow-up questions or thoughts.
Okay. Everyone close their eyes.
Menstruation, cunnilingus.
Oh, those were the 2 worst words you could have chosen for that.
I would just...
This is still weird. No.
Okay, turns out we're all happy to have a go at this. Is that right?
Your turn.
Oh no, I'm not happy.
Right, here's the thing, because that is an actual thing, isn't it? Like, people do
periods
that.
are a thing.
Here is the thing. I don't even know if I can say the word cunnilingus, but that is also a thing. But people do that. So for some people, yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? On Urban Dictionary, it's got a word.
Does it?
Yeah, isn't it? Oh, I don't want to say this. Isn't it?
You're the only one of us that knows.
I'm sure this has come up before. Isn't it a rainbow shower, as opposed to a golden shower, which is obviously pissing over someone?
Well, now Sam and I obviously have to look.
Yeah, I'm sure this is. So, no, my point is, we're
I
all
thought that was
grossed
when
out.
you had a load of Skittles.
I might have that wrong. We might be learning something new.
No, that's just when you're being pissed on by somebody.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh, that says from lots of people with different levels of hydration. So you're getting from like clear to brown.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Right.
Or being pissed on by people of different ethnicities.
Right.
Ooh.
Google
that's
what
nice.
it is called.
That's inclusive.
Don't Google what rainbow showers are, because clearly you're going to get like 80 different answers.
Abby's
No,
got
but I've got a
one.
different one.
Okay. Go on.
The act of vomiting on somebody for sexual gratification.
No.
Oh,
That makes a bit more sense because that will be colourful.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it will have carrot.
Yeah, for sure. Have.
All right. I must have that wrong then, and I apologise to all listeners.
Good Lord.
However, my point was, people must be watching this being like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
some people
True.
are like, oh, they're having a go at that, are they? Okay.
Yeah, that's
They both seem to be having a good time. This validates my way of life.
yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
do that again tonight.
Rainbow kiss, but that's
Yeah, that's what I just came up
Right.
with.
Oh, okay.
drinking the Red Sea.
Oh,
Earning your red wings.
Oh yeah, no, it's drinking Red Sea.
Sam,
Right.
are you going to
No.
read this out?
No.
You have to. You have to.
No. The act of licking, gurgling, and sometimes swallowing menstruation fluid.
Gurgling or gargling? Why is one of those worse?
That was provided to Urban Dictionary by Ivor Biggin.
Thanks, Ivor.
In
Ivor
2003,
Biggin.
what has he been up to in the last 20 years?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would say 21, but it was November. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks, Mr. Biggin, for your services to the community. Okay,
So yeah, after he drinks the Red Sea at midnight.
But sorry, not only does he do that, but he like puts his fingers in her mouth with.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was not
No.
okay. Well, I don't know. Like at this
I guess
point,
like this is not a film for consent stuff, is it? Like,
well, no, like because obviously we know the end, so we know that was like a control thing and it was horrible and I didn't like it and whatever. But at the time, you think they're
Oh,
just
she
like,
seemed well up for it.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Who are we to question what people do in their sex lives? I don't want to watch it, but
it's a big swing, though. From him.
That is a big swing.
yeah, true.
yeah.
And somebody's like, ooh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, before we move on to the breakfast, is that Farley has seen out of the window what's going on. And then, as you said, Abby, there is a very awkward breakfast the next day. But he also does that thing where he gets her to eat loads of food and he like slides his half-eaten croissant across the table and gets her to eat that as well.
Yeah.
That croissant looks amazing.
That was good.
It's at the breakfast where they decide to have a birthday party for Oliver.
Oh yeah, that's so weird.
Oh yeah, and James does the best line. I can wear my suit of armor.
Yeah,
I was going to say that
you
thing.
Just love him right there. You're like, yes,
He
James,
literally throws his newspaper.
and he did look good in that. To be fair,
Yeah.
he was rocking that suit.
I didn't see him.
What? Yeah, no, he's rocking it.
Okay.
and then you have the bit where Farley and Felix are having a bit of a conversation about his the amount of money that Felix's dad is giving to Farley, and he's saying about like, oh, we don't even notice that you're completely different to us, and all of that super just awkward. The turnover for footmen is notoriously high.
Oh, yeah.
As if this is something that everyone knows. And then it's the party with the Henrys.
Yeah.
And there's that terrible Flow Rider karaoke.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then Farley does the.
He puts that crappy song on. I actually don't know what song that was. Did you know that song?
No.
I know I'd heard it before.
Yeah. Well, we got the gist of it. It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, just
basically
embarrassed. Yeah.
saying- Like even so, like I guess if you watch it again, then that bit you'd be like, okay, so Farley's onto him and knows there's something not quite right. But at the time, I was just like, well, that was a dick move. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oliver's been invited here. Oliver's a guest. Why are you like humiliating him like this? Like this film totally sold me the entire way. No, I didn't see anything coming that happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
Me either.
yeah.
And he makes him a little nighttime visit, doesn't he, Oliver to Farley?
oh yeah.
Does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What happens in the nighttime visit?
He asks him to behave. He says, "Are you going to behave?" And he says, "No."
He does say
He says, "You're going to behave." He says,
No.
You're going to behave. And he says, "Yes."
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know what changed his mind though.
No, I think it's the finger up his butt. If I was going to guess.
That's very imaginative, Ad.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. It happened off screen.
I didn't know. Is that what you think happened?
Well,
I mean, can you reach from that angle?
I thought he was doing something. I thought he was doing something else. To be fair.
Yeah, me too.
I think he was doing something else, but then he did that weird lick of his finger.
Oh yeah, he did.
And then that
Oh.
like reach around.
That definitely happened on screen.
That happened on screen.
But it's not until later on in the film you realise he actually kind of spends time. He spends like the night there, or he waits until he's asleep, doesn't he? So it's not like he
Oh yeah.
down to business and then go. He goes.
Yeah,
he does
true.
stay there.
Oh yeah, true.
And then the next bit is you find out Pamela's died.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And she said she'll do anything for attention. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, Pamela.
Yeah.
Poor
Poor
Pamela.
Pamela.
Is that relevant to anything? Because I feel like you could probably take Pamela out of the whole film and it would make no difference. Why not?
Pamela just shows their like lack of real care for people, doesn't she?
And it's just like not a coincidence, but it's just a series of events that she dies. It's got nothing to do with like anything sinister.
Well, so we're interested in this, and you were saying, weren't you? This is one of the reasons that you wanted to watch it again today.
Yeah, because there was so much that happened in the film. I was a bit like, oh, did she have more of a part in it? Did he kill Pamela?
Yeah, that's what I was
Because-
wondering.
Yeah, because it depends at what point his like whole master plan kicks in. And like if he's like, oh, I'm gonna get this whole place, he would want to tie up all loose ends. And was he involved in that? I don't know.
I don't think. I thought his master plan kicked in pretty much as soon as he realised that him and Felix couldn't be friends or together forever. I think he snapped to be like, right, I can't have you in my life. I will take this place. But I guess we're not supposed to probably know. But
Yeah,
I realised a bit with Pamela, like it did allow for the amazing scene where she was at the table saying about moving to a bedsit, and it is the most funniest scene when she's like, I loved having a bedsit, everything's so close. It's like, you live in Saltburn, like you do not have a bedsit. Yeah, she's like, I could say, no, you must go, no.
I wouldn't dream of having you stay here. No, you must go, you must.
But that was, I love that scene. It's one of my favourite ones.
Yeah, that was excellent.
The film was so funny, like considering it's
Yeah.
very sinister, murder, that kind of thing. The black comedy element was real, like 50-50 for me with all the rest of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I want to watch the 5-minute version of just Elspeth and James interacting, because that is a good like mini film.
There is that bit right before they say Pamela's died, and then they come out and they're like, oh, it's a glorious day. It's hotter than Barbados. Yes, dude, it's hotter than Barbados. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm going to go and check on the hydrangeas. And then it's so funny. Yeah, those two characters are so well written and so perfectly cast. They're amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's Oliver's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? And Felix has got a special surprise.
It's Oliver's.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought you meant the party.
No.
Yes, he has got a surprise.
Which, if we're being honest, like, so the whole time you weren't sure about the family, who was nice, who was not. But the day of the party, you realised that Felix actually just nice the whole time, except for the one thing where he takes him back to his parents without talking to him first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a massive dick move.
I did love the fact that when Felix turned up at Oliver's parents' house, you could tell because she was from such wealth. He couldn't tell if this was the house of a drug addict or anyone else.
Yeah.
He's like, this doesn't seem too bad. Like, he really doesn't know if this is probably what drug addicts are affording.
Yeah,
Prescott.
yeah.
And then you find out she's a regular mum.
Oh,
The dad's in the garden.
yes.
Yeah.
She's made a spag bowl.
Oh,
He's got
honestly.
sisters.
Tanner cake, yeah.
Oh, that whole scene was just so.
I feel so bad for them. Right? That's their son. But then I just say to like, but they have raised that son. So
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
there's nature, natural, that stuff, but you feel so bad for them. But also, what's happened here?
Yeah.
And I thought that Felix actually, again, even though you were cross at him for the whole taking him there,
Yeah.
he dealt with that other bit so well, didn't he? Again, like, he didn't embarrass him in front of his mum. He
Yeah,
didn't go
true.
nuts.
Yeah.
They like,
Yeah.
you told me that they were dead and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
He just allowed the mum, and he even said, like, no, we're staying longer, so that the mum didn't have to have a shitty time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
left it with a good exit where he could go back to his family and
Yeah.
didn't drop
Yeah.
them.
Which is more than he deserved for that massive lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Like you say, Felix was the good one, really,
Yeah.
out of everything. And then they go back to the party. He's like, you're going to leave after the party
Yeah, quietly.
quietly. It's too late to come.
Yeah,
and
they love
stay
it
out.
leaving in the night, don't they?
Yeah, they do,
Yeah.
don't they?
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's kind of hard to know what to say, because you have started to think kind of badly about Oliver because he's made everything up. You
Yeah.
still don't. I didn't really necessarily think he was evil.
No, and when he
that's right.
says, I wanted to be your friend, you kind of get that. People do silly things
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the wrong reason.
Yeah, and he might not have realised how far it would have gone, and like you can, like, we've all got ourselves into, like, I don't know, messes that you're like, oh, how did I get myself into this?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then is the maze
Yeah.
where he interrupts their coitus.
Oh,
I mean,
why?
some words tonight. Jesus.
And Felix is a bit cross about that,
Understandably.
understandably.
He's having sex in a maze. He's having maze sex.
Amazing sex is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, such a dad joke. Maze sex.
Oh,
And not just
we
maze
knew.
sex. Middle of the maze sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as we saw that maze, you were like, something bad's gonna happen in that maze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you said that someone's gonna die in that maze.
Yeah. So yeah, then he gives him a drink of champagne.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and goes and baths up himself.
Yeah.
And the next morning you find out that he has died, and they find him.
Oh,
Then it's just some of the worst minutes of film watching ever, isn't it? Just they're going to have to find him and go over all that stuff.
yeah.
And it's just
Yeah. The butler guy comes in. He's like, "Sorry, sir, they keep getting lost. The police keep getting
Yeah.
lost."
Oh,
in
yeah.
the maze. Shall I send one of the gardeners?
But that bit is so weird. Like, it's like they really just can't confront the situation or their own feelings, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're just making everyone eat lunch while that whole thing is
Yeah.
going on outside. And there is that question of, well, what should you be doing? But I don't know what I would be doing, but like sitting down for a dinner with your family and pretending that nothing's happening is not the answer.
Yeah, and you can tell that because when they were eating, I was like, oh my God, they're just gonna like carry on as if nothing happened. But
Yeah.
you could tell they were literally like falling apart
Yeah.
and were so upset and obviously
Yeah.
devastated, especially when they had to pull the curtains and things.
Except for Oliver.
Except for Oliver, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
he's
even now, I wasn't. Sorry,
He was being weird though.
It was being weird, but I was like, I said to you tonight, how has he died then? Did he just drink too much and he was out in the cold all night? Like, what are we looking at here? And it took a while to get to that point, didn't it? We found
Yeah.
out everything.
Yeah.
And I thought Oliver's being weird, but only because I think Farley had been like, oh, I want to leave. And they're like, sit down, eat the pie or something. And then Oliver's just kind of like, they ask him how he thought the party was. And I felt like, oh, Oliver's just trying to make things a bit less tense and is just going along with it.
Oh, did
With
he?
so little emotion though.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah, well, that's just kind of how I saw it. Yeah.
I, at this point, was like, he killed him. There's no way he didn't kill
really?
him. Yeah.
I had a thought that he might have killed him, but still in that moment, I thought, oh, he's just going along with what they want to do. I didn't think he was being weird of his own volition. I thought he was
really?
just, oh, this is what they want. I'm just going to sit back and do it.
Oh, I thought he was just loving it. And also he was reaping some of the, again, his like shows of dominance throughout.
Well, yeah,
against all of the family.
Yeah.
You're starting to like see those flexes kind of working.
Yeah, and that's where he throws Farley under the bus.
Yeah, he's just like, and he was doing drugs or whatever it is that he said.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't wrong. Like, he could have died from drugs, and Farley was doing drugs. So
yeah.
Like, the outcome is probably fair.
Yeah, I guess, except he knows that he killed him.
Yeah, there is that.
And then they have the funeral.
Yeah.
And they leave. They leave Oliver alone. Sam, do you want to just take us through what happens then?
I think he just cries a bit, doesn't he?
He does cry a bit, and then
he expresses his grief by shagging the mound of earth that Felix is buried under, getting soil on his knob.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, he is fully naked. Like, he doesn't just like lift his shirt up or whatever. Like, he's like, everything's coming off. Okay, this is it. We're doing this. No regret.
If only he had a zipper that would just like somehow allow for his penis to leave his clothes whilst keeping the rest on. But no.
Yeah. But again, Barry Keoghan actually filmed that, for crying out loud.
No, but I read today that was like almost improvised, in that wasn't how it was written. He was supposed to like finger the earth.
Okay.
And then him and like the director in the morning were a bit like, I feel like it wouldn't happen that way. I feel like, and she was like, go for it. And he was like, I'm going to go for it. And so I read it was like a closed set, which I presume means there was no one else about, maybe. Except people needed to be there. And then so he just went for it. And that was that. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say, but like, he nails that role, doesn't he? Like, I didn't even mean it as a thing, but like if that was improvised and they called it on the day, like, he's great. Like, he's amazing in this role.
So I felt really sorry for him during that scene with the grave. I was like, yeah, he lied about his family, but he loved him and he wanted to be with him, and Felix was just getting with all these girls and he wanted to like be part of Saltburn, and now Felix is dead. He died in the cold because he drank too much alcohol. And now he's just, this is the closest he can get.
Like, I do 100% get what you mean. Like, when he first took off his shirt, I was like, he wants to be close to him for the last time. I get that. And then when he got his hand and scooped a little hole and then immediately stuck his dick in it, I was like, right. It's very hard to continue to feel like it wasn't just like him just rubbing himself up against it. He literally made a little hole.
He was thorough.
He was thorough.
He did a thorough job.
He was effective. Also, then he goes to tea with them for the wake.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you go to tea with a family after you've just fucked their son's grave?
Yeah, is he not muddy?
Yeah, because he like brushed a tiny bit of mud off. I was like, I think there's going to be more than that.
No, but again, he'd taken all his clothes off, hadn't he? So it was fine.
He must have had mud on his hands and then put on his white shirt.
I think there was mud everywhere.
Yeah, he was definitely like that.
Everywhere. Okay, so he goes to tea with them after that.
Yeah, I just thought, like, how do you just sit and just...
Well, you know what he asks? Yeah. What font did you choose on the gravestone?
Oh, yeah, it's so weird.
Times New Roman. So at this point, I can't remember, in the film, do you know that he has killed him? Or do you just suspect that might
I think you just suspect it by then.
Yeah.
Or not.
And I guess
or not like me.
Yeah.
But he was being so increasingly weird.
So it's pretty quick after this, though, but isn't it when he goes in and sees it's the next bath scene where Venetia's in the bath?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, like, when we're saying, like, do you know he's, like, the worst or not? It moves so fast, you don't really stop to think about it, because it was, That's a really good scene though. Like, and she literally nails his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously he doesn't kill her, but
Well,
He does kill her.
really,
No, he just puts the things. Doesn't he say something like?
he just puts the razors there.
Yeah.
No,
I
he makes
thought-
it look like a suicide.
Yeah,
I'm sure he says the line, "Oh, you can make it look like it was a suicide."
yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
I
he says that when he's talking to the mum at the end, like,
Oh, really?
make it look like a suicide.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he killed her and then put those there. And then James tries to convince him to leave,
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sad, isn't he?
and he just won't.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, he's a real dick there, isn't he? He's like, wow, best stay.
And then it cuts to the mum and the dad on the bridge, and Duncan holding an umbrella over the two of them, stood in the middle, just getting absolutely drenched.
His arms must have ached as well.
It's true.
Oh god.
And then it does a super weird skip forward by 20 years.
Yeah.
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 To James being dead and
Yeah.
him reading the
It
obituary.
reads it in the newspaper, yeah.
And we had a question about that as well, because I wondered, like, did he have anything to do with that?
Yeah. Does he kill James? That's my question.
I mean, it's a long time to wait if he did.
I don't think he did.
I mean, the thing is, you've seen the other murders that he has done. Like, he has, like, spiked Felix's drink. So he knows how to do that. Like, he has the means. Like, his motive, has he got the long game on here because he's already moved into the neighborhood at this point? Has he set this up? Has he done it?
He's definitely set up their meeting.
Yeah.
And she says the saddest line of any film. When she looks at him, she's like, "Oh God, you've grown up," and she's really surprised that because it didn't dawn on her that everyone else that age was growing up because her kids didn't, and it's just horrible, isn't it? She was just really like taken aback by him growing up. Yeah, she says like, "Oh my God, you've grown up." Well, of course you have. And it's really sad.
That's really sad. Jeez, that's heart crushing.
Oh.
Wow, thanks, Sam. I hadn't registered that was the meaning behind it.
Oh.
I was just going to say that's when you realise that that's what those little flash forward narration bits have been.
Yeah.
In the room with her on her deathbed.
Yeah, because I was thinking with that, is he going to be in court?
Yeah.
Is he going to be?
Yeah, it felt like a police interview or something, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't actually know. So obviously he does kill Elspeth in the most horrific way, but we don't know why she's poorly. Like, has he been making her ill? You know?
Oh yeah. I'm assuming some sort of like antifreeze situation.
Yeah, but then he couldn't have done it. I guess I want to know more about that. Like, you couldn't have done it too quickly because she's just bequeathed all of her stuff to him. And then
I'm imagining 9 months.
Didn't he say something like these last few months have been the happiest of my life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it can't be more than a year if he's saying months.
Yeah.
So he must move in and then probably start poisoning her almost straight away, I guess.
Oh.
And he proper hoiks out that ventilation tube, doesn't he?
That's the worst bit of the whole film. Was it just me that had awful thoughts of what he was going to do then? Because he like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
so awkward. I was like,
now, please.
fuck her.
Yeah, because he had whipped the sheet off, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely they're not going to do this. Surely.
Yeah.
Thank fuck.
And then there's just that amazing outro where he's dancing around with his Schwanzstücke out.
Oh yeah, murder on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we got to that dancing bit, I'd had the thought of, why have you done this? Yes, you've got loads of money now. However, all those days of like sitting by the pool and hanging out in the sun, like they're gone now because you've literally murdered everybody.
Yeah.
So what you do, just rattle around in this old house on your own. And then there was that dancing around naked. I was like, go for it.
Yeah.
You worked hard for this.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Well, we were saying like so many films, they end and you're like, oh, that was like an anticlimactic end. Whereas that just ended perfectly. He got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
He was ecstatic.
Just by killing a whole family for it.
Just by killing a whole family, that's all he had to do.
Yeah.
And it just, for me, it felt like the perfect end. Like he was, I don't know, that dancing, it was so over the top and showy and yet like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really felt like that was how it should have ended.
Yeah. But then he goes into the room and he's got the little box thing and he's got
Oh,
their stones from the river on the
he's
top.
gone back for all the stones.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's the film.
That's the film.
So now it's time to look at the scores. We are looking at enjoyability, shareability, and masterpiece ability, with each of us giving a score out of 5 for each category, so a total out of 60. So let's start with Abby and enjoyability.
That's 4.5, please, Sam.
Oh, nice. Dan?
I gave it a 4.5.
Luce?
4.
Oh, and I gave it a 3.
Ooh.
Ab and Dan, you went high with 4.5.
I just really enjoyed it. I know it was completely fucked up.
So you really enjoyed the bathtub, the vampire, and the grave scene. That's what you're looking for in a film.
It's the same reason you enjoy Old Boy, isn't it? Like it's a nuts film, but it's just completely.
I think Old Boy we gave us a lower score for enjoyability.
Yeah. Why did you go so low, Sam?
Because
it's middle of the road, I suppose.
Yeah, it's still like it's over half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed the film, because it was gripping, it was tense. But I think it was more entertaining than enjoyable. There was so much like tension. Like I said before, I didn't know who I was supposed to like. I would probably enjoy it more the second time when I'd be like, right, Felix and his family.
Yeah.
I liked them. But I just didn't know who was good and who was bad. And then I thought it was so quick for the last half hour, but God, it's the first hour, not really much happened. It was entertaining, but it could have been half an hour shorter for me. So shareability, Luce.
4.
Ab.
4.
I gave it 4 too. Dan?
I give it a 2. I gave it a 2, and again, this doesn't like detract from the enjoyability I had of it. It's just I don't know if I could recommend a lot of people to watch this film. Like, I'm not gonna. I know your dad watched it, for crying out loud, but I would never recommend my mum and dad go anywhere near this film. But yeah, that's all it is really. It's I can only imagine a limited amount of people I could recommend this to.
I've definitely spoken to a few people already about this film to see if they've seen it and to say they have to watch it. But again, it is very much capped at an age and generation, and I will not be mentioning it to anyone over the age of like 50 because I just cannot. But yeah, everyone else, I want to watch it. I don't want them to know that I've told them to watch it all the time, but I want a lot of people to watch it.
Yeah.
I did message my mum and I was like, you have to watch this movie. And I was like, it says online, don't watch it with your parents. So that gives you some idea as to what it's about.
Masterpiece ability, Luce.
4.
It's a 4, please, Sam.
Dan?
I give it a 4.5.
Oh, I gave it a 4. Dan, you went highest.
Yeah, I just loved it. I mean, there was everything. I just thought it was very, very well done. Barry, everyone actually does brilliantly in this film. Like everyone who plays every character is just great. If, like you said, Luce, that scene is improvised, like it sounds like they all just put their everything into it, and I thought it was really well shot. The cast, like it's very immersive in that time period. I didn't see what was coming.
Don't say that time period when it was like our youth.
Yeah.
And however disgusting some bits were, it was quite like a beautiful film, wasn't it? As well, like it was, every scene was considered and
some bits were too dark though.
Oh yeah, you kept saying that.
Particularly at the beginning.
Yeah, and I did think like if you can afford Saltburn and all of that stuff, at least put your lights on.
Yeah,
like not everything has to be by candlelight.
Yeah,
because well, it's just asking for trouble, isn't it? But I wonder how much we'll be scoring it if it didn't have the really gross, like harsh scenes.
I don't know. I still enjoyed the overall storyline. It was pretty unusual. So what I did say to you was that the film and the storyline and the characters are very, very similar to The Talented Mr. Ripley, which I think a few people I've seen have compared it to that film. But I only actually saw that film like a year ago. I just happened upon it and then watched it. And then I watched this and I was like, oh, this is like a modern, because that film came out in 1999, I think, or 2000. And this film is like a modern take on that. Like it's much more high definition, obviously, but you know, that scene in the bathtub and those other ones, they would never have put that in a big Hollywood film 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that film has Jude Law, Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow. Like it's a big film. And this film is also a very big film. It's on Amazon Prime. It is in all cinemas. But 20 years ago, you'd never get away with those things being in a film.
Yeah.
And so I felt this, and I really liked that film just because of the story. So I don't know. For me, if those things were removed, I still feel like I probably would enjoy it if it was just the murdery bits.
But it definitely added to the tenseness, didn't it?
Like,
and to the utter weirdness.
Yeah.
So that gives Saltburn a total score of 46.5 out of 60.
That's good.
Wowzers.
Which is about fifth in our rating so far, I think.
Is it?
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming along to this week's Lads Film Club and joining us where we discussed Saltburn.
We'd love to know what you thought about it too. Were you as gripped as we were? Let us know on our social channels, on our Twitter, Insta, or Facebook. You can find the details in the description.
Oh, it's me. So if you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please leave us a rating and review.
And don't forget to share with your own lads.
Share it with anyone, really. We're not picky.
But maybe not with your weird stalkers. Not for this one.
So grab your popcorn.
Round up. For fuck's sake.
You're watching.
And join us next week.
Bye.
What's wrong with you? It's a script, honey. Read.
We love a script.
We love a script. Don't know what's happening.
Oh, God. Farley in that film is Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
We're going to have to take your first answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stephen on the time.
Oh dear.